you fuckers? You're listening to the GRINDCORE and SKA Enthusiast Podcast episode 14. We have a special episode, first interview in the series with special guest, musician ERICK Skumbag Hernandez from Nueva York, New York, USA. He's a musician, metal artist. We're gonna shoot the shit. So here we go. Talking about his band, Flatulent Phallus. Enjoy. Okay, everybody, we have special guest ERICK Skumbag Hernandez from New York. He's a metal musician from. We're going to talk about his band called Flatulent Phallus. And here we go. Say what's up, ERICK.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Alright, well, I got a couple questions, and we'll just fucking shoot the shit, and here we go. Flatulent Phallus?
No problem.
Yeah, Flatulent Phallus. How long has this band been going on?
From now, I would say like about 8 years.
Okay. And is this a solo project, or is there other members in the band?
There's other members, yes. They're from South Carolina.
And what does that member do in the band?
Adam Moore, he plays guitar. He can do drum programming, a little bit of bass. His brother Eric, he does guitars, keyboard samples. So with them, and plus, I like to give them props because I know them for like 15 years, maybe more, and they've been great, like family basically. So I like to give a shout out to them as well. With their band Gorlock, they're releasing another album, I think later this year. Philip Anselmo supposed to be on it as well.
Cool.
As a special guest, so I give him much props for that.
Okay, so it's you and a couple guys from Carolina, you said, right?
Yeah, from South Carolina.
South Carolina. Cool. And what does the band mean? Where'd you get that from?
Basically, it came from like a song title. You could think for Governmental Crucifixion. And we had a song called Vaginal Mutation. So Adam, when he would listen to our demo, he would listen to that song a lot. I guess it was his favorite track. And basically he was like, you know what? I should, start a band with like using that kind of song title but different. So at first it was like Vaginal Mutations. We had like a cover art with vaginal mutations on it. And then he changed it up as Flatulent Phallus. So I was like, hey, cool, it's perfect. I'm cool with anything, so I don't really complain much, So, I was like, going with the flow like I always do. And I was like, all right, man, let's do it.
Cool.
And we did it.
So it's not just you. You have help, and that works out perfectly, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. I was hearing a couple of tracks, and I go, wow, this sounds pretty good, man. I hear the keyboard and all that. I go, so it's not just guitar, bass, and drums. You put keyboards, and do you have any intros for songs and stuff?
Well, with the new release that's coming out, we will have songs that will have intros, like sample intros. Some things we're getting adjusted, but for now we have like about 6 songs, almost 6 to 10 songs that have intros and outros, stuff like that. So the name of the album is called Pedo Hitler.
Cool.
So it's like pedophilia and Hitler, but it's called Pedo Hitler.
Cool. And has this band ever performed live?
No, we never performed live. It's more like a studio band, something that we just like to get our anger out and be crazy and stuff, just act out and just to, piss off like anybody that's very censorship friendly or they're just scared, they mean like they're basically their safe space. We attack anything, we make fun of anything. So if you're like all wimpy and scared and stuff, we attack it, And we're not trying to be like attacking like we're gonna like come to your house and beat you up stuff, but we're just gonna perform music that comes from our heart, how we pretty much feel at the moment. So a lot of people are afraid of just stating what they want because it might get canceled out. So with our music, it's pretty wild. We just go all out, 100%.
And for this band, what kind of genre describes this band?
It's like brutal death metal, slam metal, a little bit ambient, a little bit of black metal, grindcore, stuff like that. It's like a mix of that. So that's why you hear like a lot of like keyboards. You hear just different little things here and there. So it's very brutal death metal in the end of the day, brutal slam and death metal.
For sure. Would you ever be considered to play a live show, or is this just a studio project?
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a live show. Even like the first year that we formed, I had like 2 promoters ask us to play already. Cool. And we had like 5 members already at that time. We had like a bass player, RC, that was his name, and he couldn't do it. He was down at that point, but then he got sick and couldn't do it. We had another drummer, a real drummer, I should say, and he just couldn't do it. And we had like another replacement drummer, and he couldn't do it. So, we just took everything together and just, like, hey, we'll perform all this stuff together as a 3-piece band. And we did that. But, as far as playing live shows, it would be hard to find musicians to play with us. I mean, we could, but, never say never. At the moment right now, everybody's schedule is different. We live in different states, so it's harder. But you never say never, so who knows in the future? If we do play live, I think it's going to be crazy. They just watch us play live.
For sure. And would you ever, if the band members don't want to play, what happens if you get an offer like just do a fucking backtrack like Future Pile and shit? Would you ever consider that?
I wouldn't mind. Honestly, it wouldn't mind. I think if you saw us play live, we'll definitely get the message across. Just to like let people either laugh because of the song titles or just go all out. Just jumping on stage, moshing, crowd surfing, stage diving. And I expect that.
For sure. And before this band, were you in any other bands?
Oh yeah, I've been in a few bands before that. Prior to that, I was in like an industrial band. It was kind of like I wouldn't say 9 Inch Nails. It was more heavier. Not really like Static X, but in the middle. They were called Dark Matter from New Jersey. So I played for them. Governmental Crucifixion for like about 5 years, almost 6. Eden AD, I played bass for them. Then I had another band, my first band, I should say. We actually played new metal, and we had different names. So I'd rather go with Burn Beyond Recognition. That's like how we started. After that, when I was kicked out or whatever, they changed their name to Decay of Silence, which is cool too. So, I was always been part of something that had a cool name. So, I'm not really complaining.
For sure. And are any songs in Spanish?
No, with Flatulent Phallus, no, there's no lyrics in Spanish. But hey, if Selena can sing both English and Spanish, you can do it too if you have to.
Yeah, for sure. Because you're Hernandez and shit, like put some Spanish Latin flavor in those songs or something.
oh yeah, of course, man. Like, so I like to like relate to my peeps, not just keep it in English format, you know.
Yes,
So, but to come up with something in Spanish is gonna be pretty cool. You guys are gonna like it.
yeah, maybe some papusas at death or something.
Yeah, some pupusa, man.
Yeah, those are good.
Oh yeah.
And you said this band has been 8 years, right?
Just about, yeah.
How many releases have you got? Any CDs, tapes, splits?
Just on YouTube, with this new release, Potato Hitler, we do plan on making like hard releases, like CDs. So, but for now, it's just YouTube. So whatever clips you see on YouTube, that's what we have. We had like other tracks that were available on YouTube, but they were taken down. So we only have like about three, maybe four. Is there? There's one track that that I wasn't part of. Adam did the vocals. I guess he was just trying out vocals, you know, see what would happen before I was in the band. But he was like, you know, it's like he's just there just for the heck of it, you know. But with the other ones, it's just me, you know, on vocals. And we even had Mark Candelas, the guitar player from Cerebral Incubation, on guitars for one of the tracks. So that was pretty cool. As a matter of fact, that was our first single.
Right. And you said the songs got they got banned or they got shut down on the YouTube?
I think they were taken down. I think because of Adam. Just to like, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying it was his fault, but I'm just saying like, I think they were taken down by him and he just replaced other ones that were being viewed. But if it was YouTube, you know, fuck YouTube.
Fuck
But
YouTube.
I think it was just, honestly, I think it was just him just like uploading and taking stuff down. You know, not because of censorship or anything like that. You know, I think the stuff we have up there is already crazy anyway. So, you know, it's nobody's fault.
Yeah, your album cover is pretty brutal with the fucking skeleton bitch.
Oh yeah. Adam drew that. You know, he does all the artwork for us. So, you know, he experiments with a lot of crazy ideas. You know, so if any band out there wants a logo or art covers done by him, hit him up. He will definitely do it.
For sure. And speaking of the censorship, being in these kind of bands, gore grind, grindcore, death metal, and all that shit, it's getting hard for us musicians to even put song titles or songs about what we want to talk about because censorship with AI and shit. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is Cemetery Rapist, which is a great one-man gore grind band. And the singer Clay, he's always having that issue with his band. Some even promoters don't even want to have him on shows. And I thought of booking him for like a show in Brooklyn or even Manhattan, which I thought Manhattan does any of that stuff anyways. But you know, there's a lot of Brooklyn venues that would play stuff like that. But you know, he has a hard time getting his band out there. Well, it's just him, you know, to get to New York. And New York is very, very, you know, sensitive about stuff like that. But, you know, on occasions, yeah, it'll be tough. So, you know, I think promoters need to, like, understand, especially if they're, like, born after 95 or 2000, that, you know, before their time, there were guys like me that were putting out titles that are so messed up that it'll give you a nightmare. So it's kind of like either promoters need to grow a backbone and understand this is art, or not be a promoter at all and don't be in the business. If you're going to have a hard time because of a band's, you know, band name or song title, then you shouldn't be in this, because it's like being a doctor. You know, if you're going to deal with a patient that gets rolled in to an emergency room and you see blood and guts or a broken bone, you got to stomach that and tough it out and deal with it. You know, don't be a wimp. So
I like that.
That's my way of saying it. There's a lot of promoters out there, musical promoters in New York, that are full of shit, and they can kiss my ass. There's a them correctly,
Yes,
And,
sir.
it's not just a band's job to promote their show, but also it's a promoter's job to promote the show. And I dealt with that, where promoters, they do a half-ass job promoting a show that I'm probably involved with. And I wasn't even the main guy, I was just like a bass player or whatever the case was. And then we get like a half-ass turnout for the show. You expect, it's like, oh man, you guys had like close to 100 people one time. But when it's us, we have like maybe like 20 people, maybe like 3 or 4 bands, and we probably had like 2 to show up to see us, So, a lot of these guys are full of crap. They suck.
For sure. And lastly, about the releases, you said this year, 2024, you have a Hitler, right? A Hitler album or something like that?
Yeah, it's called Pedo Hitler.
And when is that going to come out?
It's going to come out later this year. There's no set date. That's the thing. We don't have like a set date at the moment, but we do plan on having it released this year,
For sure. So you have the artwork and the songs ready to go, but just no date and all that, right?
Right.
Cool. All right.
That's correct.
And let's go with your bio, like and stuff. So besides this band, were you brought up in a musical household?
A little bit, yeah.
Like, was there music always like when you're little and stuff? Like,
yeah. I mean, I would listen to like, since I'm from New York, you would listen to like hip hop, because it was like the thing back then, and it still is the thing. But it was something that was new and fresh. It was still new and fresh for us. Reggae, a lot of Spanish music, a lot of what else? Not too much rock. I mean, there was rock music, but it wasn't that much,
right.
But I think like the first rock band stuff that I listened to was probably like Black Sabbath
Mm-hmm.
and Dio. That was the thing back then. So, a lot of the 80s stuff. But yeah, that was pretty much it for me, like at that time.
So basically, Dio and Black Sabbath was your first eye on metal. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. Especially back in the 80s. So it wasn't like how it became later, like how metal is. Like, you have a fast double pedal, double bass music, and it's not that. It's just very like still rock oriented.
For sure. And
yeah, that was pretty much it.
And what band got you to say, "Hey man, I can fucking do this. Let me get a guitar"?
I would say, man, there's a few. I would say like Pantera, Biohazard, Korn. I was into Korn when they were like really pretty good.
Right.
When they first started out. White Zombie. Like I said, Black Sabbath, Ozzy. Randy Rhoads. That was pretty cool.
For sure. And were you self-taught? And what was your first instrument?
First instrument was actually a guitar, and also a bass at the same time, because my dad's a musician, so my room had nothing but instruments in there.
All right.
So there was a lot of old instruments that were just collecting dust, so I was like, let me try this out. And then that was like right when I was about to start playing for my first band. So my first band, they needed a bass player. So I needed something to jam with. I jammed out on a Kimberly bass, which I think they don't even produce anything anymore. I think I had a PV guitar at one point, like as a first, like a starter type when I was like 11 or 12, but I didn't know how to play. I was like, what am I doing? I don't know how to play this. But yeah, I think I started like around 17, going up to 18. So from there on in, I started practicing with my bandmates at that time. They were showing me how to play this and that. I remember the first practice was like in May of 2000. So,
Oh, wow.
We started like maybe like 2 songs, our own stuff, and then we actually like covered the song "Push It" from Static X.
Sick.
So they were showing me how to play it. So it was like, they were showing me how to read tabs. So I started learning that. I didn't know how to do it on guitar. I still don't know how to do it on my own to this day. But I just need a tuner and I'm good. So, not every musician is smart like that. You got to figure things out. But I wasn't really 100% self-taught because I did go to school for it for a little bit. My bass teacher his name was Steve. He taught me for 6 months. And then I had a music teacher in high school. She was like a piano teacher, but we had like a one-on-one lesson, and I played the double bass actually. So any cowpunk, band that needs like a bass player that plays the double bass, I'm your guy. I could play that. I don't have one at home, but that was like my first bass where I would like learn and memorize things. So that was like right after I started picking up the electric bass. So I did that for a whole school year, for like junior year. So that helped.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the upright bass you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the upright bass. So I think altogether, honestly, I think I studied bass maybe for like a year and a half. So like that's about it. And then after that, it was all practicing on your own, looking up songs that are complicated, trying out, certain songs. Even if you don't play it well and you suck, as long as you put in the effort in,
Amen.
That's what it meant. Because there were times I play for like 3-4 hours. I'm like on one song only. And,
I see.
I got really smart with reading tablature. I'm not really that smart reading like musical notes.
Right.
So I tried to, but it was just too hard for me.
Yeah, with learning like music books and shit, that takes like even beyond skill of just learning by ear and tabs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And it's for me, I can't grasp it. Like I can't understand it. So it's like putting like a math question in front of me, man.
Right. It's
So
like
you
math
put like an
equations.
algebra question in front of me, I'm gonna be like, what? What is this?
Exactly.
I don't know how to do this.
For sure. And you said your dad was a big influence, right? Because he had instruments, so that could be a good part. Growing up, you had already a good, stronghold.
Yeah, man. Cause like, I think even like, say like, if you live in the West Coast, there's a lot of parents out there, like especially dads or uncles that have like an acoustic guitar or whatever the case is. They just jam out and party. It was kind of like that, but without the jamming out. I just saw that, he had a guitar and all that. So, it kind of like brought a curiosity to my head. It was like, I was like 2 or 3 years old at the time. So I remember that specific day. So,
yeah.
I was like, when I get older, I'm going to play this with a real one, So I finally did, and now I have like guitars and bass in my room that I can just still jam out to without a problem.
For sure. And all your songs, are they different tunes? Different tuning, like D-tune and stuff?
Yeah, Bachelor Fouls is D-tuning, for sure. If I'm gonna like go deeper into that, I feel like with the other band, my first band was like, we were tuned to B. My second, first band was B. The second band was C sharp. I think the same thing for Governmental Crucifixion, and it was down to D tuning with Dark Matter, the industrial band, which was perfect.
Yeah, the beauty of metal is that, remember, like, there's so many riffs that the riffs have been used, and the beauty of metal is that you can fucking detune as much as possible to get different sounds,
Right, exactly.
So that's why I love metal and grindcore. It's like there's no rules.
Yeah, there shouldn't be no rules.
That's right. And that's why that music symbol with the fucking note crossed out is like, that's the That's the symbol, bro.
Yeah, man. And as a matter of fact, I'm trying to learn how to play drums now. Like, I bought a bunch of cymbals. I'm trying to figure out how to, like, get the drum set up in here. You know, my house is small.
Right.
But I probably have to rent out, like, you know, studio time and just to practice there. I haven't done it in a while, but, yeah, that's, like, my thing. Like, I always tell myself, like, man, why limit yourself? You know, I started as a bass player and a singer.
Right, in a school.
Flip-flopping with each band. You know, and then I started doing guitar on my own. I tried to play hardcore like music like about a year and a half ago on bass, but I would write the music on guitar, then transfer it on bass. But now I was like, you know what? What else do I have left except for the drums? And that's what I'm gonna do now. You know?
Yeah, I started playing drums when I was like, I think 8 or 10, and I think drums are like the best instrument ever because it's like having sex. You're using all your limbs, and if you play fucking grindcore or death metal, you're using double pedal and all your limbs, and it's a fucking workout, bro. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I give props to all the drummers out there that play not just, you know, simple stuff, but like the technical stuff and using your whole body. It's like swimming, you know, using every body, every part of your body, you know.
Yep.
And like sex too, you know.
For sure. And back to your bio, what was the first metal concert you ever been to?
Well, it's I would say the first metal concert since it's New York. It's not like how it is in California. You could go to any concert anywhere with either basement or backyard or whatever. Over here, it's not like that really. But my first one was Static X, and they had Pitch Shifter, and they had Ultra Spank. But my first rock concert was to see Blues Traveler back in '96, man. And that was at Madison Square Garden, which was wild. But you know, like I listened to everything, so it didn't really, you know, make a difference. You know, whether people think of me as a poser or not, I don't care. But you know, Blues Traveler was like my first rock concert in '96, but my first metal concert was in 2000.
So 96 was Blues Traveler, and that was the guy with the big fat guy with the harmonica, no?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. And they played, the funny thing is they played New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day. So I was there from like, I don't know, 8 o'clock when it started, and the show didn't finish at like 1. So when the ball dropped, you know, all the band members had like bottles of champagne, drinking on stage, and doing the countdown with everybody.
Oh,
it was pretty cool, you know.
That was pretty cool for a youngster to see all that, huh? For your first show.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
Wow, cool. And let's see. And like you said, you're from New York, and I'm from LA, and I think we're lucky to be in this part of your town and my town, because metal music is it's like thriving in New York and LA. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think LA is more passionate about it, and I don't want to get in trouble with it with the New York scene, but I feel like LA, just California in general, is more intimate with the music because, like I said, there's a lot of basement and backyard shows.
Right.
Aside from going to venues in different locations, it doesn't matter what part of California. You know, you always hear about it, or you'll see it on YouTube or a cassette or whatever the case is. Over here in New York, you know, we have mostly those venues, and the venues are closing down because rent is going up. So it gets expensive. So a lot of venues close down. So now you have like little venues, like a bar that has like no stage. You know, they'll set up in a corner and then you just play or whatever. So it kind of ruins it because then now you can only fit a certain amount of people in a bar to watch a good band play. You know, there's still venues that haven't closed down yet that'll have like shows, but I think COVID messed things up.
Yeah, big time.
You know, it's not like a lot of like backyard shows or basement shows here like that. Like in California, they're big on that. So I wish I was living in California honestly, because I could have gone to the show like almost every day,
That's right.
and check those bands out. Like, doesn't matter if it's punk, rockabilly, hardcore, whatever. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna be there for sure.
Yeah, I think LA is super fucking spoiled with music. Because like you said,
Yeah.
every day, every night, there's a show going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then sometimes when like Iron Maiden example, right? They're coming in October, and if you ever been over here in California, like metal bands, especially, there's a big metal scene over here, and there's so much diehards that the big bands will play another date just to, do for the fans, and that's how we're spoiled. You could see Iron Maiden in L.A., and then the next day they're playing in San Diego, 2 hours away.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I noticed that over here, if a big band is playing here, feel like Iron Maiden's playing today, and there's like a metal show, it would be hard to see anybody that's going to Iron Maiden to see a local band playing the same day, Because you already know, mentally, we're already programmed. Like, well, I got tickets, I got money to go see Iron Maiden. Forget about these guys that are playing at, this certain
small club
venue, say like Lucky 13 or St. Vitus or something,
There you go. For sure.
So I don't know. I think a lot of our promoters need to figure that out. Like, hey, don't put a show that's like the same day of a big name band that's playing, or the day before, or the day after that. Fix that.
But you in the East Coast, you guys do have a music festival sometimes, and one that I'm really jealous of. It's kind of far from New York, but they have the Baltimore, Maryland Death Fest, right? You ever been to that show?
No, I haven't been to that festival. I've been wanting to for the last 10 years. I never get around it because of work. But yeah, that one is crazy because it's
crazy good.
It's in different venues. So they have one in a parking lot, and then they have another one in a different venue.
Yep.
And sometimes they have at the same time or later in the night or whatever. So you have to walk around Baltimore, which is a sketchy, city.
Yep, sketchy as fuck.
And yeah, you guys got to be really careful, man.
Yes, sir. And that festival is my top festival I want to go to, my bucket list, because you get grindcore, you get punk, you get metal, everything in one, and the best bands in the world, too.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. That's the best type of festival you can go to here on the East Coast.
Yeah, because if you're a grindcore only guy, hey, maybe you'll see a death metal band and you're a death metal fan now, there's no hate in that festival.
Yeah, exactly. If you're into say Bird Flesh, and then the next band is playing is basically Misery Index or Dying Fetus or Torso Fuck. You get all that and back to back to back, then you're in heaven right there, man. Why leave?
Yep. And all right, cool. So that's pretty much your bio, right?
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Cool. And I got 2 more questions and we'll be done. For when you're making these songs, do you have a creative process? Do you write the lyrics first? Do you draw a picture, or what's your process?
Well, I start thinking about the music because I gotta listen to the music first. When I was younger, I used to write stuff down like poetry, man. I just write down a bunch of lyrics, and then the music comes afterwards, and I'll try to fit it in. Nowadays, I just listen to the music, and then I'll think about it, and then I'll just start writing whatever it is, And that's how I do my music, how I write the lyrics.
Okay, so you have to hear the music first, do a riff, get a backtrack going, and then that's where the lyrics come. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's how I pretty much do it. Because when I used to write lyrics as 17-year-old and 18-year-old, they were pretty good. They're not as good as now. Maturity and experience comes with time, in my book. And nowadays, to play it smart, I'd rather listen to the music first. I might have a song title already in my head, So I just gotta try to like make the lyrics rhyme and go with the flow, with the rhythm of the music playing.
For sure. And do you like get ideas also from books, reading, or media, or movies, or like porn?
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, like serial killers,
There you go. Yeah.
porn, anything. I don't care. Like, but whatever I see, I might use that as an idea for a later song title, and then describe it into a song, like how this goes, or how this went, and then intimacy, the mentality of it. So when I write my lyrics, it's pretty, violent. Violent music is good. Violence, catches everybody's attention, whether you like that stuff or not.
For sure. For sure. All right. Well, that's pretty much the music questions. And right now we'll just do like a little like fun questions, and I'll let you go, brother.
Okay, cool.
Can you talk about because you're a big wrestling fan as well? Is that correct?
Hell yeah, definitely. Since I was 3.
3 years old.
Yeah, man.
You can remember when you were 3 years old watching like WWF on TV like that?
Yeah, I saw Hulk Hogan face Iron Mike Sharp. I think that was like the first match I ever saw.
Wow.
It was like a Saturday, from what I remember.
And do you remember your first wrestling event?
My first wrestling event, yeah, it was a house show at Madison Square Garden in '93.
Wow.
Yeah, 30 years ago, man.
Holy shit.
Yeah, one of them, I think, it might have been that show or a different show where Hulk Hogan fought Ric Flair for the title as the main event, and you could literally feel the whole venue just shake,
And was this WCW or WWF?
WWF.
Interesting. My first wrestling event was in LA right here at the Forum, and it was a 1998 when I was 8 years old, and I saw Goldberg versus Kevin Nash main event.
Oh man, that's wild. I wish I could have gone to a WCW show. That's one thing I regret.
Yeah, WCW and WWF, like that Attitude Era, 98, 99 was like the best, bro.
Yeah, it was intense. You could feel it because it was so real.
So real.
And the way it would flow, it was perfect.
Yep. And it's funny because I went to Catholic school, right, when I was young. And
yeah, me too.
for sure. See, that's why we're middle bands. And it's funny because I used to buy WWF magazines, right? And I couldn't buy it because I was young, right? They had like a 21 over or like teen. Right? Remember back then, like you had to be a teen to buy WWF magazines?
Yeah, I mean, I used to buy magazines as a kid. Like I was like 9, 10 years old. So you would need a parent to buy, but I would buy like Pro Wrestling Illustrated on my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because back to my story, I had my dad bought me a WWF magazine, and I took it to school, right? And the cover was fucking Deborah showing her titties, bro.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
And my teacher was like, "Daniel, what is this?" She thought it was a porn mag.
That's wild. I mean, the first magazine I had was for the WWF, and it was promoting WrestleMania 7. It had Sergeant Slaughter and Hulk Hogan on the cover.
Wow. Wow, you go old school, huh?
Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's way before my time. I didn't start watching wrestling until 98, so like from 97 and below, like ECW and all that, like, I watched that later, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that, man. It was, 98 was a special time for wrestling.
Oh, yeah, I love the 90s, bro. That was the fucking good times, dude.
Oh, yeah, trust me, like,
the music,
everything. 98 was special, yeah, man, because, like WCW and WWF were going head-to-head.
That's right.
And then ECW was starting to become big right after that.
Yep. And like I tell you all the time, I'm super lucky and fortunate that I do ring crew for XPW because I didn't even know they were going to come back. They were dead 2 years ago, and now look at them. They're thriving and staying alive and kicking. No pun.
Oh, yeah, of course, man. XPW is special because it's like, when I found out about them, it was 1999, and it was the day when ECW were going to show their first show on TNN. It was a Friday night, and I happened to get an RF video catalog because I ordered a cassette from them, which had like different shows in one tape. And in the back, it showed like the first, I think like first 2 or 3 shows that they had, which was like almost like 2 months prior because their first show was in July for XPW in '99. So when I got it, was like the first week, I think, of September.
Right.
So they had like a couple of shows where they actually were selling, I think they were selling their cassettes.
Interesting.
So that's how I got introduced to XPW through RF videos.
So VHS.
Yeah.
That's ancient, huh? No, the kids don't know about that shit.
Right, exactly. So it's like, I'm glad XPW's back. I'm happy that Rob Black brought it back.
Me as well.
You know, for the fans, like the hardcore fans that were there from that time till now, the newer fans.
That's right.
You know, we get to watch it, you know, and support it, man. So big ups to Rob Black, you know.
Big ups. And thanks for fucking that dark side of the ring, too, because that made newer fans as well.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know, and I'm glad that the Messiah had that thing happen to him. I wish with both hands, not just one.
Right.
Because, yeah, you know, we got to be respectful to the man's lady of that time, not now. I mean, now he's still, you know, a new wife, but back then, you just don't do that type of stuff. That's just so messed up, you know?
Yeah, and that's real behind the scenes of wrestling, too. Like, the fans see the action on TV, but in reality, there's, like, relationships, there's people stabbing, like, backstabbers. And that's why I love it, too, because when I'm working in shows, you see all kinds of shit going on.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You know, and it's like, when I first heard about the Messiah having his thumb cut off, my stomach dropped.
Wow.
I kind of laughed a little bit. And I was like, what? Like, no way. And then I found out about that whole stuff, man.
And it was
so
real.
I was like, damn. You know, I remember that day in the summertime when that happened.
Right. And it was on American Most Wanted, right, on TV?
Oh, yeah. They aired it because I used to go on this website. We'll just give you all the inside scoop of what goes on in wrestling. And they said, like, yeah, on Friday, check out this episode with the Messiah and his incident or whatever the case was. And I saw it, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and then also, speaking of Messiah, he went to CCW and he showed his fucking thumb.
Yeah, and, you know,
in a promo.
There's always going to be, like, rumors saying, oh, he did that on purpose, or he wanted it to happen. No, he messed around with the wrong guy.
Yep.
And, you know, things happen. You know, we can never say, yeah, Rob did that or anything like that. But all I can say is, like, you know, the Messiah had, like, a crazy background. So that could have happened from anybody, from any angle. So that's the way I'm going to play it, man. But if it's because of what he did with Lizzie Borden, then he deserved it because you just don't do that to a man's wife, you know? You just don't.
Did you ever attend an XPW show in Philadelphia?
No, I never got to. I was, like, pretty young at that time when they were in the East Coast in Philadelphia.
Right.
And I had no way of getting there.
Oh, I see.
So it was pretty hard, and I didn't, like, internet was kind of, like, still slow to some degree. You could still find out. But I didn't know, like, all the details how to get to Philadelphia to the ECW arena to watch those shows, man. So I missed out, like, on the original stuff. But I do plan on going to their shows. Now they're, like, closer to New Jersey.
Yep.
So, you know, you might see Skumbag Hernandez there. You know, on ringside.
Bring fucking Rob some papusas.
No, definitely, man. I know for a fact they're gonna like that stuff.
Bring him a gift, bro. Speaking of
I
XPW,
will.
yeah, speaking of XPW, I trip out that you remember WoW magazine?
Yeah.
XPW, they came out on that, huh?
Yeah, that's the thing. They were getting wild. Like, they were getting on different magazines, even in magazines in Japan, from what I
Oh, that's
understand.
right. Yeah, yeah. Because Homeless Jimmy and Supreme and Misty, what's her name? I forgot her name, but
Oh, Christy Mist?
Christy Miss. Yeah, that sexy bitch. They went to FMW
Yeah.
and Rob paid for everything, and they stood over for 2 weeks doing shows.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's like I saw that on, I think, Crack, Angel's manager. He kind of like talked about it, and then it was just like a still picture of them, and he was in the ring. So that was pretty cool.
For sure. Because you know how like XPW memorabilia is like very rare, and you could get like you could sell it on eBay. And right now I'm trying to look for WoW magazines with XPW in it, and I can't find shit.
Yeah, it's pretty hard, especially like if you want to get bootleg cassettes of their shows
Fan cams, huh?
they were like the big shows, but they were like maybe like if they had like shows like every week, you might see like a show like at a bar or
Right.
at the hotel. Like
Or
there are tapes like that where like
yeah.
literally you don't see the wrestlers like on the box. It's just a regular white box, and then it has like a label printed on it with like XPW, whatever the name of the show is, and a date. And that's it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's fan cams too of XPW shows out there too.
No, definitely. They definitely have to.
Cause ECW, there's a ton of shit on YouTube, and it's great to see fan cams instead of the real television version. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You get to see it like in a different angle of it. So there are fan cam shows like that.
For sure. And my last question is tell the fans about your backyard experience being a wrestler.
Oh yeah, man. It was pretty short. I mean, I started like around '99, did a few shows, then I did it again in 2000, did a couple of shows, I think, and then I went full on in 2001 from like I think from July until January, and then I stopped. But in October of 2001, I broke my arm.
Oh,
because of
man.
a botched Falcon Arrow. So it was basically, and the thing is, we weren't like those type of kids, like, we just, all right, I'm gonna face you, and then we just do whatever we want, and that's it. No. We do like how the wrestlers do it. Like, they'll talk about it, they go over the match, all right, we're gonna do a spot here, let's start with this and that and the other.
So you would just wing it?
What happened?
You would just wing it?
Yeah, I mean, on occasions you can wing it if you want to, but we would go over a match, just like how a professional wrestler would. Whoever they're facing, they're like, you and I are going to face each other. We'll talk about our match, go over it, and go spot for spot, So that way it won't look like a typical backyard match with that, like, no sense of direction. Like, we actually had spots, throw punches here, here's a kick, come back with this move, come back with that move, So it was pre-planned, but what happened to me is the guy changed his mind while he was picking me up, and he didn't have that much weight, I guess, or support to turn me over, so he kind of like slammed me sideways, and I landed on my arm. And that's what happened.
Oh, man. And a trip to the hospital,
It sucked. Oh, yeah, man. And I'm not the only one. There's like a lot of backyarders had the same type of injury, too. It sucks, but luckily I didn't have surgery, even though I should have.
That's good.
But, hey, it happens.
Yeah, and speaking of injuries, I'm surprised even in this genre of time, 2024, these fucking deathmatch wrestlers, they won't even go to the hospital for cuts or bruises. They'll just fucking put super glue and take Tylenol and drink beers and just sleep it away.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are tough. These new breed of, deathmatch wrestlers are just crazy. If they spit, their wounds, they'll do it themselves, or they have somebody else stitch them up, and just tape it up, drink a couple of beers, take some Tylenol, and you're good to go. On to the next show.
And then hopefully Veronica Kane, the nurse, is on backstage.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
We'll definitely take care of everybody, with their injuries. It's all good.
Yeah, and what was your wrestler name?
Well, I had different names, but when I broke my arm, it was Slayer, just like the band. So,
Right.
very unoriginal, but hey, Slayer kicks ass, and it'll never die.
And how many matches did you do?
I would say like around 6 to 8 altogether, not including 99 and 2000. So I would say it was like 20.
Wow, that's a lot for a backyarder.
Yeah, man. It was like, we go to the Bronx, and then we go to Harlem. Depending on which part of Harlem, you can go to like the east side with the Spanish Harlem or just the regular Harlem,
Wow.
So yeah, I got around.
For sure. Like me, I never wanted to be a wrestler at all because I see the injuries and all the shit you got to do. But there is one thing I'm getting into right now, and I'm working on getting knee pads. I found a spot right here that's going to train me, and I want to be a fucking deathmatch ref, bro.
Oh, cool, man. Like, go for it 100%, Just be careful.
Yeah, I got my PPE and shit, unlike the other fucking jackasses that ref.
Yeah, man. It's just like, being a deathmatch wrestler is not easy, so you got to be careful, because what would mess you up more is the objects they use, if you're not hit correctly. With a trash can, a chair, whatever. A body slam, you can still get hurt, but with a professional, you'll follow through, so it'll be all right, You got to be careful with the objects just use.
Yeah, I'm just a little, not scared, but, referees do get involved in the matches, they get hit, they get in, situations, so that comes with the territory, and that's why I'm going to some guy that trains with Chaos, by the way, that's another XPW reference. He told me that, dude, you're going to be hit sometimes, you're going to be involved in the match, you have to learn Basics 101.
Oh, yeah, of course, especially, if you're training with Chaos, who's a very good trainer, he's going to take good care of you, so you're going to be all right.
Yeah, and so that's my goal this year too, to do the wrestling process, training, and throw a wrestling show and continue helping XPW as much as they're surviving,
Yeah, man. Always say this: follow your dreams and kick ass. That's the best advice I can give anybody.
Yeah.
Do the best you can and follow your dreams. Don't let anybody stop you. Just rock it, just kick the man.
Yeah, dude, I trip out every time I tell people, oh yeah, I work for XPW, I volunteer. They go, what?
Yeah, I mean, people need to understand there's more than just, what you see on TV when it comes to promotions. XPW was a really big name promotion 20 years ago. They're back. They're kind of I'm not going to say they're low level, but, they're still independent, but they always had that edge over the other promotions that's out there because they were big at one point. So they're in the middle. But that's not saying that they suck or anything, because they don't. XPW does not suck. Just all the haters out there, they can, kiss my ass about that. But, to be fair, XPW is up there still, Probably not the way they were 20 years ago, but they're still a big name,
Yes, sir. And lastly, about the wrestling, when I went to California on April 9th, right? It's 2022, the first LA show back.
Yeah.
I never called this kind of wrestling death match. I just heard that from Cactus Jack and Terry Funk, VHS tapes. So I called it hardcore wrestling because I watched ECW,
Yeah.
And after that night, bro, I saw Masada. Well, I see, it was a tournament, it was a deathmatch tournament. I was so shocked in front row, seeing the glass, seeing all this fuckery. And the last match was a barbed match with Shlack and Masada front row. It was so violent, bro. I was like, wow, dude. And then later after that night, I was doing research and I go, what? There's a fucking deathmatch community in America?
Yeah, man. It was like, back then it was just crazy because, yeah, hardcore wrestling was just still a big thing. You know, it was still like chairs and tables and ladders. That's all people knew. But the Cactus Jack stuff, yeah, I saw a little bit of that, especially that tournament that he won. And it was just like, what? Like, they do this?
Yeah,
and as a kid, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that was crazy. I can never do that. But now I'm into it. You know, so I enjoyed watching deathmatch wrestling. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the deathmatch community is 50-50. Some are cool and some are fucking dipshit fucking neckbeards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. You know, most of those people are just, you know, inbred, you know, idiots that they don't leave their, you know, their basement. You know, they're a bunch of basement dwellers and sucks.
Yeah, and they talk shit about XPW, but I don't know why you're capping on fucking deathmatch wrestling. Everyone should just love this shit and just be cool with each other, because if you're not, then this deathmatch scene will go to shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that they're haters because wrestlers have their own opinion on certain things. You know, where there's politics on who they hook up with, who they're friends with,
what company you work
promotion they'll work for.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you're against that, you're not a fan. You're just an idiot.
Yeah, like, I'm an XPW till it ends, but hey, man, if I get offered a free ticket to go to a Circle 6 show, I'm going to take it, right? Because I love deathmatch wrestling. I'm not supporting the company. I'm supporting the wrestlers.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it doesn't bother me. You know, I'm a huge XPW mark. And, yeah, I'm going to use that term and call myself a mark because everybody's a mark. Wrestlers are marks. There's a reason why they joined wrestling in the beginning.
That's
you know,
right.
and influence. So,
that's right.
Everybody's a fan. And some people get lucky to become a wrestler and wrestle in the ring and do more.
Yes, sir. All right, dude. That's about all the questions I have, and I just want to thank you again for doing this interview. And
You're welcome.
for sure. And I will play your playlist right after this interview, so I'll play a couple tracks from the YouTube playlist, right? Because that's like the only songs available.
Oh, cool. All right, man. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for the interview, and support XPW. Their show is coming next week at Alive and Kicking in Newark, New Jersey at the Hart Ballroom. And don't forget the release of Pedo Hitler from Flesh and Phallus that will come out later this year, all right?
And is there any plugs, like merch you have? Any websites?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any merch at the moment. Let me see. Do I have any merch?
Yeah, I
No, actually, matter of fact, I don't have any merch in the moment. But
okay.
once we'll get that up, I'll make sure to promote it, you know, on your page, and you can promote it for us, and fans can buy T-shirts, hoodies, you know, you name it.
For sure, I'll post that in the description of this episode too. So there'll be a link.
Yeah, cool, man.
All right, dude. Thank you, Erick Skumbag Hernandez, and thank you for doing this interview. You're episode 14 of my series, and just thanks again, and have a good one, bro.
All right, you too, man. Thank you.
For sure. See you later.
All right.